Hello there, it's Natasha Harrison, and today we're going to be discussing the benefits of taking online courses. I'm going to attempt to persuade you that online courses are much more beneficial than traditional ones. But before we get started, I'd like to share a couple of quotes with you guys. I read a quote that said, "As long as there's tests, there'll always be prayer in schools." Another quote I read said, "If you're doing math and it seems easy, you're doing it wrong." So without further ado, let's get into it. So first, we're going to be discussing the flexibility that comes with taking online courses. Secondly, the luxury of learning at your own pace. And third, the joy of actually finishing your degree. So the flexibility that comes with learning, taking an online course, you're not tied down to a strict schedule like you would be in a traditional setting. You're actually able to do some maneuvering. You have a lot of leeway when it comes to certain things. For example, traveling, you're able to travel. You can take your laptop and go and have your schooling right there with you. You're also able to work a full-time job if you choose to. That's something that you're not always able to do when you go to a traditional school. In addition to this, you just have that flexibility to do other things rather than spend the bulk of your day in school. You can do school and something else if you chose to. Secondly, that brings us to my second point, the luxury of learning at your own pace. Sometimes in a traditional setting, it's fast paced. You have several different classes that you're taking at once. Whereas with an online class, you can take one or two, maybe three classes if you choose to. So I know since we're all taking a speech class, I'm sure that we've all encountered some type of challenge when it comes to school. And the main goal of learning is not to just learn it and do away with it, is to retain the information. Although I know that we all have um, a goal to that we're seeking to achieve. So yes, and I do definitely believe that it's important to do what's best for us. And sometimes it's either online or a traditional setting. However, as I stated earlier, an online setting has much more benefits. And that brings me to my third point, the joy of being able to graduate and get finished with your degree. Sometimes when you're taking online courses, they're much more shorter than other courses. And as a result of this, that leaves you with an early graduation date, which is a joyous thing. It is a joyous thing when you're able to either accomplish a goal or move one step closer to accomplishing a goal. Again, we all have goals to finish up class. However, we also want a life of our own. Some of us have kids, some of us are raising families and have jobs and other things that we're doing. And online courses just gives us that flexibility to have our own lives as well as continue our education. In America, where it's almost vital that you have education attached to you. In certain professions, you won't be able to work in this profession without that degree. So online courses gives you that flexibility and that luxury of completing school and then continuing to live your life. So yes, in conclusion, online courses are much more online courses are much more ideal is the word. They're much more ideal. You can go to school, you can work, you can still have your family, and you can still get your education in. So I hope that you guys would consider taking an online course if you have not, or I hope that you are enjoying your online courses. And if you were to decide to go to a traditional course, think about the freedom that you have in taking online courses. Think about the pace that you get to go as you're taking your online courses, and then also consider the end. Soon we'll all have degrees. We'll all be working in the major in the profession that we're aiming for. So with that said, I hope that I was able to persuade you that online courses are much more beneficial than traditional ones. Thank you.